What?
That's too quick.
Yes.
Hello, Flav. Is that Flav? Is that you? Flav, darling. How are you?
Fine.
Sorry, hang on. I'm in the ivy. No. Yeah. No. The salmon. Yeah. Yeah. No. No, not still or sparkling. Tepid. Tepid water. That. It's Gareth. It's me, Gareth Southgate. How are you, darling?
Good, mate. Good.
Scraping the barrel a bit on the old squad. Okay, Flav, I've heard. I've got the scouts out there, and they've been saying that you are quite the baller. I'd like you to join up for the squad.
Oh, I probably could do a job in your squad, yeah, mate.
Yeah, good.
Sorry,
Yeah, thanks for that. Make sure you do, because we're going all the way this year. Okay.
Where? To Russia.
Quarterfinals at best.
Oh wow.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
The worst English squad ever,
The worst England squad ever.
isn't it? I hadn't even heard of 4 of the players in it.
Wow.
Well, 2.
Football pundit, expert.
Not a pundit. Fell into this job.
Sure, let's not get into that now.
Mawson.
You weren't even sure when you said his name, were you?
No, he's a bit of a player. I like him. He couldn't get in Brentford squad.
Yeah. Fifth choice centre back.
Fifth choice centre back. What's going on at your club?
That's not entirely true.
What's true then about what?
He wouldn't sign a new contract, so they just fucked him off to Wickham.
I like that.
To Wickham.
To Wickham.
Yeah, to
That's a
Wickham.
bit out of order, isn't
It
it?
shows how you can turn it around, doesn't
Imagine
it?
being a Wickham fan.
So that's a good. Let's go on. Let's dive into that. So
Right.
Gareth Southgate, their perfect impression of him.
Yeah.
Is actually very, very fabulous as a person,
Right.
and loves to have
Have you met
tepid
him?
water, very specifically tepid water, down the eye.
I like to relax, have a beer or two at the weekend.
During the week, mainly water. Do you know what? Around this period of time, right? So, a couple of England friendlies for everyone. And now getting to the point where gearing up for the World Cup.
Yeah.
What I can hear and see is people starting to find these little bits of evidence, little crumbs of stuff that they can then repackage and use at a later date and be totally hypocritical and slam Gareth Southgate, right?
Yeah.
So you're saying is that this is the worst England squad in a long time?
Absolutely.
Since when?
Since time immemorial. Since time began.
Really?
Yeah, it's terrible.
Worse than Euro 2000. So that's the one I would
Who was
go
in
to.
that?
Dennis Wise was in that squad.
Danny,
and ageing Keown was in that
was
squad.
that Danny Mills? Did he?
No, I think that was 2 years later. It was Danny Mills.
Right.
But yeah, it was a poor squad. It was a squad that was on its knees, being carried by David Beckham.
In what world does Danny Mills start a World Cup quarter final against Brazil? That happened.
That happened.
That's
yeah.
real. Yeah, I mean, like, completely uninspiring, but it doesn't really matter because, you know, it's friendlies and who gives a shit.
Very
really.
true. We'll get into England and the World Cup, who we think's going to win it. There's some other decent friendlies out there as well. Germany, Spain. We'll talk about Italy, Gigi Buffon. I've got stat nuggets. We've also got some Flames advice questions.
Oh, yeah.
Got some solid ones there, which we'll be answering as well, which we can give some advice on. Not totally.
Stick
on
around
what
the
was.
end to the end for Birds and that. Big news. That's all I'm going to say.
Wow.
Big news coming from Adam.
Birds and that.
Yeah.
Nice. And as you've requested, we'll give you results on Jordan. Does he love the dope, or should he be banned
Banished.
from the podcast? And the longest and most excruciating, in a good way and a bad way for this guy, soldiers lost in battle story. That's
All
ever
I'm
been
saying
created.
is very, very long, but people ask for it, and
It's a story though. He's a storyteller. This guy.
I mean, he's got a way with words.
So stick around for that. Let's kick off on a positive note before we get into England and all the excuses that we'll be setting up for the World Cup with Room 69.
Oh yeah.
Let's dive
We'll
into
do it
that
right now.
negativity, Flav.
I'm going to put Mo Salah in there.
Mo Salah.
Yeah, I've had enough. All the hype, massive hype job. He's a one-season wonder. Who can't score 4 goals against Watford in a single game? You know, he's you know, I don't get the hype.
Not buying it?
Not really.
Did produce a documentary on him. Been working on that for weeks.
Yeah.
That went out yesterday on the Bull Street Channel. Go check it out. It's very good. Very insightful stuff. Talking about his time in Egypt.
It's
difficult. He's had a difficult journey, but he's kept coming through, and he's
Well,
now an incredible world class
I
player.
mean, he's-
But you want him to give up on football?
No, I don't want him to give up on football. Well, no, I would rather he didn't exist, to be honest. I mean, as a Spurs fan, it doesn't do me any favours.
He's detrimental, isn't he?
Detrimental
to your life.
Yeah, absolutely, he is. But, no, absolutely not for Room 69. Paul Lambert, and then we'll just leave it there.
Paul Lambert?
Yeah, Paul Lambert, fuck off.
Paul Lambert, you've been bigging Paul Lambert up for the last couple of weeks. Do you know what winds me up about Paul Lambert?
Yeah.
Is his need to have a tracksuit jumper on, right? But he rolls them up to here.
Yeah, and I imagine...
It's not practical.
No, yeah, I imagine he's the kind of guy that wears a tracksuit top and like a dinner shirt. Like
oh, right, he's got the suit underneath.
Buttoned up. Not a suit, tracksuit bottoms, shirt, tracksuit tops.
Right.
Buttoned up to the top.
Yeah, that annoys me about him. But he is someone that you were like, you're in my shot there. He is someone that you've backed recently, but now you want him to give up.
Yeah, I've had enough.
Okay. Let's go into who's going to win the World Cup this year. So Spain are playing Germany, and as much as I want to be optimistic about England, one factor that makes me worry a bit are the other squads out there and the players that aren't even getting into this squad, these friendly squads for these other teams.
Yeah.
So Spain, Morata, Sergi Roberto, Pedro, Juan Mata, Fabregas, Hector Bellerin, and Javi Martinez didn't make the squad.
Is that 7?
That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah.
5 of those would get in England's first team.
I think they'd all get in England's squad, wouldn't they?
Maybe. Get in the squad for sure.
Yeah.
But I'm saying first to start for England.
So and for Germany, not as strong a list, but Gertz is not in the squad. Mustafi's not in the squad. Marco Reus isn't in the squad. Hawidis isn't in the squad. Schürrle. I'm not sure he'd make the England squad. But all those players aren't in that Germany squad. And it just shows the strength of depth that both of those teams have.
I think for a long time England have had a problem with developing players. Partly responsible is the massive influx of foreign players in England, but more so it's about the setup at the FA and how they run football. I think though, in recent times, as you've seen the results in the younger teams, the under-20s, we won the World Cup. Under 17s.
It's on the horizon, isn't it?
Because they've changed the way they do things. They developed something called the England DNA, which developed a philosophy in the players to be creative, to play, be technically good, to understand the game in a progressive manner, and they all buy into this philosophy. That's the way it seems to be, and that's why you're getting a lot of young English players that are very good on the ball. For a long time, our game has been so much about strength and power, and really picking players that have sort of run into form. That's always been an English thing. We've had so many one-cap internationals. It's ridiculous. There's Michael Ricketts got a cap for England because we're shit at developing...
Against Holland, I think it was.
Yeah, really?
Surprisingly enough.
Shit at developing football. David Nugent got a cap. These players shouldn't get anywhere near. I know, yeah,
sort of
goal.
Stole it off
but that shows that there's a massive issue. You shouldn't be picking players on form. You should be picking players on quality.
Do you think so?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I think down the road, I know Great Touch, my podcast, we always do our pick our England squad.
Yeah.
And we might do it on Ball Street or Long Ball Street. We could always do it on here. But how much is form a part of it? How much is the quality of the players and trying to fit them? Because some people will have a philosophy of going, who are your best 11 players? Now find a way to fit them in because you want your best players on the pitch.
Which is the correct way.
Okay, but then there's another way of thinking that you go, who are your 5 best players, and how do you have a system that works for them? So I heard Chris Waddle talking about John Joe Shelby and how he was not in the squad. I think he glossed over the fact that John Joe Shelby, if I'm Gareth Southgate, John Joe Shelby in a knockout game, I'm not taking that risk, right? You're not taking that risk, are you?
No.
But he has got great quality. He's a good passer of the ball. We've got a team that's got pace, that's going to be good on the counter-attack. He was suggesting that you probably need a player like him to find those other guys.
Yeah.
And getting back to those squads that just sort of read out there, I wouldn't be, and you saw it, I think, with Italy and Antonio Conte in Euro 2016, is sometimes it's not all about how good the players are. There's the other side of the coin with it. There's the find the best way for your team to operate well.
It's football. That's how football works.
But you just said like it should be get your 11 best players.
Yeah, so at the beginning of the season, if I was England manager, I would have whatever it is, a 22-man squad. But really, I'd have 16 players that are my players that I think, how do I create a chemistry and a tactic that works for the strength of these 16 players? And then you amend that only if you get injuries or if there's some huge spike, like a gargantuan spike in form like Vardy, something like that.
Right.
But that's it. You don't just think, oh, this guy's scored 5 goals this month and there's a friendly, just chuck him in. It doesn't help. Football doesn't work like that.
Glenn Murray watching this podcast just went,
yeah, exactly. So when you've got when Holloway or Pochettino or Klopp is picking his team.
Love that. Say that again.
Holloway, Pochettino.
Say that again.
Or Klopp. I would say Brentford's manager, but I don't know his name.
Klopp.
He doesn't put a youth team player because he's got 5 goals in the reserves. That's not how it works. You have to play to the strengths of your players. The game is about tactics. It's about chemistry amongst the players, and you can't get that by just chucking players in. Everything. Look at when the clubs sign too many players in the summer. No matter how good those players are, there's problems. It takes time for these players to bed in. You can't just walk into the England setup and it all just click. Bollocks, James.
Okay.
And that is one of the reasons why we will never win the World Cup.
That's a blasé, broad, generic statement that no one should take heed to, because I don't think it does work like that. One thing, like people give Southgate a lot of stick for like he doesn't deserve the job,
He doesn't deserve the job.
I mean, probably maybe he doesn't. I mean, who deserves it above him?
No, there's no maybe.
Who deserves it above him?
Ian Holloway deserves it above him. He's got more experience.
Yeah.
Ian Holloway could do a better job of England than Southgate. This is another problem with England. Yeah. Like another problem is you're giving people the job. This is the most high-pressured, difficult job in football, probably, just because it's so unforgiving that you're made to look an absolute imbecile. Even though you probably know football quite well. If you fail, Southgate is...
Why don't we all just stop doing that? Why don't we just go, right, this isn't a great squad.
Yeah.
Okay? There aren't any other options for manager, so this is what we've got.
Well, I mean, there's loads...
And raise them up.
There's loads of options. Watford find a better manager than Southgate every single year.
But there's the caveat of, should they be English or should they not be English?
No, they shouldn't be English.
Should be English.
Who gives a shit?
Because it's a reflection of your coaching
we
system
want
within
England
your country.
to be less shit. That's the only thing that matters.
Okay. I don't know how you say it. Julen or Julen Lopetegui?
Who's he?
He's the Spanish manager. Okay? So the reason I wanted to bring all this is, right, I was looking at the Spain squad and like we all know
I've
all those
literally
players.
never heard that word before.
That word to name, yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. And so he's the Spanish manager and I thought, oh, well, how's he got the job? Because, Southgate gets the job and he's apparently not qualified.
Who's he managed?
So he's managed. He's a player, and he only played like 100. He's a goalkeeper, which I always think suspicious as a manager.
Have they ever made good managers? I think of one.
Dino Zoff was a manager. I'm trying to think. There's not many. So yeah, he was a goalkeeper to start with. He was at Porto, and he was given their biggest budget ever. And I don't think they won the league. Might be wrong on this. I don't think they won the league, but they got to quarterfinals of the Champions League. Mm-hmm. The next year they were like 3rd in the league and had a heavy defeat, and he got the sack. Yeah. Then this is what's written on his Wikipedia. This is the manager of Spain, who are probably the favourite, like one of the favourites, right? On 21st of July 2016, after being strongly linked to English side Wolverhampton Wanderers, not having a go at Wolverhampton Wanderers, but this seems odd.
Sounds like it. Which
had fallen under new ownership, Lopetegui was announced as the new manager of Spain national team following Del Bosque's retirement. How's he got that job?
I don't know. I don't know. Look, how's Roberto Martinez got this Belgium job?
He's done stuff. He's won the FA Cup. You are rubbish.
What
do you mean? Are you shrugging? Wigan beat Man City to win the FA Cup.
Yeah, all right.
Did great stuff at Swansea as well.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he got him up, I suppose. Right, fair enough. Martinez, but it's still a big job for him. Like when he's been given the opportunity to manage players of significant quality, he failed, and he got the job at Belgium. So,
my point is, this guy is probably not getting chastised by the press before he's even gone into a tournament. Southgate has won his group. He seems very polite. Give the guy a chance. I get he's not overly qualified, but name someone who is overly qualified. No one. So what I'm saying is, I'm trying to gear you guys up. You know, all the England fans out there.
It's not working.
All 5 of you.
It ain't working.
Give it a chance.
No.
Bit of optimism.
I don't want to. I'd rather be right. You should show my point. I'm being flippant, and this is truly how I feel, but I don't really care.
You bloody will care, though. You bloody will care when it all
finish.
kicks off.
Let me
When
finish.
he's spanking the 4th one against Tunisia.
Yeah, I don't really care until the World Cup comes around. I just don't care about England, really.
Trivia. Let's talk trivia, people. Last week, we asked you, Van Aanholt has scored in his last 2 games. He didn't score, did he, in his 3rd game? Only 4 players had scored in 3 successive Premier League matches and lost them all. I gave you some clues. No one got it.
It was really hard.
Was tough. The answers were Antonio, who... So Michael Antonio, I watched him play football yesterday because West Ham were playing Dagenham and Redbridge in a friendly to raise funds for Dagenham and Redbridge, who are really struggling at the moment. # save the Daggers. And Antonio played, right? And halfway through the second half, he just walked off the pitch.
Just thought I had enough.
And I was like, you know, is he hurt? Is he like something wrong? 5-10 minutes later, he came back and carried on playing.
Which only went for a poo.
Went for a poo. So September 2016, Antonio.
What, they played for 10 men. Well, he went for a poo.
Yeah, just cracked on. Just had a quick
What
poo.
was the score?
3-1.
2.
West Ham.
It's a bit out of order, isn't it?
It doesn't matter, is it? Just get people's money. That's all that matters, really.
Um,
Kevin Phillips for Sunderland, February 2003. Mark Viduka for Leeds, March 2003. And Alan Smith, November 2003 for Leeds as well. So those
that
are
was
the
a
answers.
toughie. Where'd you get that question from?
Can't give you that, mate.
Okay.
Can't tell you my sources, I'm afraid.
Right.
Geordie Lover-da-Dope. Explain.
Love it, dope. It's just some bloke who cheated at a question, and
Allegedly.
I said he should. We should ban him from the channel because he likes cheats.
Yeah.
And everyone's got the ump.
Everyone's got the help with you now.
Yeah,
haven't they?
they
So
have.
we asked you guys to get in the comments and do hashtags, you know. I don't know if we asked you to put hashtag stop the abuse, but
That campaign has started, hasn't
the
it?
campaign did start. So, Jordan...
I don't think I was abusing him. I'm saying, like, can you abide people who cheat? No, cheating isn't an attribute, is it? It's
wrong.
It's something that disdains your character. So I don't know why I'm the victim.
You're getting a flack, yeah.
Yeah, well, I haven't cheated at anything.
Seems harsh. It does seem harsh.
Does seem harsh, yeah.
So, Jordan doesn't love the dope. We take that back. We retract that. You are still part of the community, and thank you for that. And well done.
Just in case.
Hashtag stop Jordan abuse.
Just in case Jordan thinks that I've actually genuinely got an issue, I haven't. I don't, who gives a shit.
That's what we said before we started the podcast.
But, all of you, with this, your silly little hashtag, I'll ban a lot of you. All of you can go. Can you ban people from the channel?
Yeah, you can block people, yeah.
Carry on. You can't ban me. The camera's pointing at me.
Yeah.
The microphone's picking my voice up. You lot, you're just people in the comments. You mean nothing to me. I can press one button. If I could be bothered to go through all of your names and ban you all, I would, but I can't be bothered because you're so insignificant.
This week's trivia question, we've got three for you. So we've got three, and Scott Walker is doing work experience with this week. He's helping us out with some trivia.
Is
So I
he?
don't know the answers to these ones,
Yeah.
but hopefully you guys will. So hang on. What's the? This is a crap.
Hang on, so Scott Walker comes in.
Yeah.
He's a cameraman. He edits.
He loves it.
He loves a bit of After Effects.
Yeah.
He's done some amazing work on the Salah of the dog, and you've
Yep.
got him right in a running order.
I've got him
You are
involved
despicable.
in it. I've got him involved in it. I'm trying to
You
show
knew
him
his quality, and you thought, I'm going to take him down a peg or
Nah,
two.
that's not. Hey, come
I'm
on.
James Alcott. I've got my own channel.
Slander, that's unfair. What is the most common score at the World Cup? Should be getting this one, guys. Let us know in the comments below. Another question: what's the most common surname to appear at the World Cup?
That's a good question.
Can you get it? And last question: who was the first player to miss a penalty at the World Cup, and what year was it? You'll never get it.
Well,
You will never get it.
Yeah, don't Google it, Jordan.
Don't Google it, Jordan. I'm not saying you're a cheat, Jordan. This fantastic podcast, Flav, is brought to you by the lovely people at FanLeague. They're building the world's #1 football community. This is an app where you can predict 13 English football matches and find. Well, if you can get 13, then you can win big money. 10 grand
12,
per week.
You win money.
And 11.
11, you win money.
And 10, I think you win money as well.
Yeah, you do win a bit.
And if you sign up, then you get a couple of credits at the start, so you can essentially play for free to start with. And if you get your friends involved as well, then you get credits for that. You've got some.
Plus, if they win,
you make money.
You get money.
Madness.
I mean, what's not to like?
Exactly. So if you want to get involved in our league, we've got the One for the Weekend League, then you can do that. Click the link which is in the description right now and add me as a friend, James Alcott, ALLCOTT, and I will add you to our league.
Good.
It's time for Stat Nuggets.
Great.
I love it. I want to hug it. It's Stat Nuggets. Yes, see, you're getting on board with it now. It's lovely. So we're gonna straddle both the Premier League and the World Cup international theme that we're discussing today.
All right.
So first of all, a couple ones, and I just saw this stat. I thought it was a good one, so we'd let you have that in your back pocket. So in a pub or a nightclub situation, you can use that to chat up a lady or a man or whatever you're into, really.
Yeah.
Or just a mate, and just go, oh yeah, did you know that Peter Cech, 961, is now just 32 saves away from breaking Tim Howard's 992 save record?
Do you know when
Premier
your
League
mates
save.
say something so unbelievably boring, and you look at them and go,
Not that then. Give me an example.
I mean, that would have been if we were in a pub and you told me that, I would look at you and I'd go, who are you, and what am I doing here sitting with you?
You'd be like, God, I wish Lloris was close. That's what you'd be like, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
961. That's 32 saves. He'll do that, won't he? Do that before the end of the season. It'll be. Do you think he's gunning down that record? Do you think in his head he's just counting each one? He's got like bouncers when people come in. He's just clicking off the saves. Just goes because I always wonder what if you were a goalkeeper, what would you take into your goal? You know, they have it's like their own little cupboard.
Yeah.
They bring the drink. They always bring a towel.
And put it over through one of the hoops. Why don't you stick it on the floor?
I guess they want to keep it dry, don't they? So dry their hands. But they'll dry their hands and then they go and wet their hands.
Yeah, what's all that about?
So it's odd.
Who gobs on their own hands?
Yeah. Is he the greatest Premier League goalkeeper of all time?
Who is it?
Cech.
No, I don't know. Who cares?
Right.
Well, when I was a kid, Spurs had a lot of Norwegian fans.
Espen Barton.
No, before that, who is it?
Erik Thorstvedt.
That's right, Erik Thorstvedt.
He was a looker as well.
He was now a stand-up comedian.
Is he?
Yeah.
Norwegians.
So, do you remember the culture of foreign fans coming over to England, taking our jobs, but before that, giving gifts to goalkeepers or players?
What?
So this was a kind of tradition at Tottenham, or something I noticed as a kid.
Right.
Should have left this those were the days. But so these Norwegian people came, spoke to the steward, and said, "Can you get Eric over here for a second? Got a gift for him."
Really?
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, and
His goal. So his goal's like totally decorated.
The steward called him over, give him a hand painted plate, not good painting, like something a kid would do.
Right. And he just had to keep that in his goal.
I mean, I hope he went in and threw it in the bin.
That's harsh. That's
What
a
do
nice
you keep? You keep every gift you're given.
You keep all your fan
I
mail. It's all
re-gift.
over your office.
I re-gift.
What, your own fan mail?
Yeah, no.
It's a plate of me. It's a plate with my face on it.
I've never had any fan
That's
mail.
yours.
Not one. I mean, why would I? But I'd quite like it. If we set up a PO box,
Jesus.
can you lot send us shit?
Do you know all PO boxes in TV go to Derby? Sort of stuff, you know. Another stat nugget. You can have that. That's yours for free. One more Premier League one. Man City have the highest average possession of 71.1% this season, which is 17.3% more than their closest rival.
Wow.
Who is their closest Premier League rival? Have a guess.
Liverpool.
No.
Spurs?
No.
I don't know.
Man United.
What's the second in the league?
Second league,
Yeah,
but
the way you made it sound like it was going to be Swansea or something.
No. Well, no, yeah, but look, you still got it wrong with your first two guesses.
The way you made it sound is they couldn't be the next best team in the league.
Okay. Right, let's move on to more international based ones, right?
You're winding me up today.
I know, it's something a bit aggy about the two of us. Stick around, could be a punch up. 99%, right? Riquelme had 99% success in passes in a game between Argentina versus Serbia in the Germany 2006 World Cup.
Riquelme was one of those players that...
Sorry, just finished. The highest percentage of a player who tried at least 100 passes in a World Cup game since 1966.
100 passes, that's incredible. Riquelme is one of them players that kind of fringe world class, never quite had all of the talent,
Yeah.
but just never quite made it. Ariel Ortega,
Ariel Ortega, odd head, like a cube-like head.
yeah,
Ortega.
never quite did it.
Didn't he got Van der Sar, didn't he? And he nutted Van der
He did,
Sar
he
in the World Cup.
stood up and nutted.
Let us know your favourite violent World Cup memories. Zidane, obviously, up there.
Yeah.
But yeah, Riquelme, what a player.
De Jong's flying sort of karate kick to
True.
the chest of who is it?
Xavi Alonso, wasn't it? Yeah. And final two. So Italy, right this week, Gianluigi Buffon, sorry,
Yeah.
has more caps, 175, than 20 members of the current Italy squad combined. They've got 166.
Wow.
That is the saddest thing about the World Cup this year, is that he won't be there.
Is it sad?
He's just. Have you watched the Juventus documentary on Netflix?
I got about 10 minutes. It was shit.
Because, and no offense to American people, but the language that is used with an American accent doesn't feel right on an Italian. Firstly, on an
That's gonna
Italian
go down well.
documentary, probably not. But more importantly, the way Italians speak
Yeah.
is so romantic. It's
Yeah.
amazing. I
Yeah.
love that. It's worth watching just for that. I wish I could speak like an Italian.
Yeah.
Not literally speak Italian, but just say the way that. Buffon got asked a question like, "Do you? When was the last time you cried?" And he was like, "I cry often, and I cry alone." It's like, wow. And he's like, "It's okay to cry."
Suspected kind of Nazi sympathiser. That's what's been mooted. Google it.
Yeah. There's a theory on everyone.
Right.
So,
Not everyone's accused.
yeah,
of
but
that.
if someone writes it, then it becomes like suspected, doesn't it?
He wore a T-shirt with dubious motto on it. Who cares? He's not English. The only
If
team.
you're slagging off English people as well, though.
No, I'm not. Second off with the England team and
Right.
one Englishman in Southgate.
Okay.
But it's not sad that he's not there.
He's sad he's not there.
Why?
I don't know. I just like happy endings.
I mean, it's sad that Pele's not there,
Yeah. He could do a job.
or Beckham, or do you know what I mean?
Speaking of Brazilian legends, nice link, Ronaldo has revealed that his iconic, this is brilliant, this revealed that his iconic 2002 World Cup haircut, because this is another great thing about World Cups, is the haircuts that are there
Yeah.
define the time.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah.
They really do. Like
Romania.
Romania,
all the dyed
1998,
blonde
yeah,
hair.
true. Valderrama,
Yes.
love that.
Yeah.
And Ronaldo 2002, a lot of people will remember. It was so the reason he had this haircut was part of a scheme to distract the media from his ongoing injury troubles. So he got man of the match in the final. He scored both against the 2-0 win against Germany, and he was saying that the reason he did it was because people kept moaning about. Kept
His knees.
asking about his knees and his leg injuries. So he thought, I'll cut my hair, stupid,
Good tactic.
and they'll all start talking about that.
And they
Right.
did.
And they did.
Just for people that don't know, I mean, people have heard people talk about the real Ronaldo. This geezer was incredible, but what's more incredible about him is he had 2 cruciates. He'd done his cruciate twice in a career. Most players won't return the same player as they were when they.
And he didn't.
No, he had to change his game, but he was still incredible. Another player who had 2 cruciate injuries. Tell me. Man United.
Stat nugget from Flav here.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
good. Someone's jumping on board.
Former Man United striker.
Mark Hughes.
No, Ruud van Nistelrooy.
Right, yeah.
Was about to sign for Man United.
Yes.
Jumped up for a header in training, landed funny and done his cruciate.
Shit.
Screamed,
Did he?
I've hurt my knee!
Were you there?
I saw it on Sky Sports.
He'd been practicing his English, ready for the move.
Yeah, he was good.
Yeah, good stat nugget there. That is a good one. Any bird, they love that. 4 litre knees.
Don't call them birds.
Can I? Oh, well, we have birds in that later though. We can say it then, can we?
Touche.
What is going on here? England.
But
Wait, Adam.
There's
No,
no,
you play.
there is no world where I'll be influenced by Adam. No way.
So back to England, because I've got it here in the running order. Still scum, those were the days. A difficult to listen to soldiers lost in battle, an epic story if ever there was one, and questions for Flames which include work, relationships and how to deal with them. We'll be giving you the best advice because we're a bit light on football this week and you gave us some questions. So Flames advice is on its way.
I know all about that. Don't worry.
Do you?
I've had my fair share of office flings.
Not here.
Here,
Really?
couple.
Wow.
No, that's not true.
So yeah, back to England.
It's absolutely
we
not
have
true.
touched on a few of these bits, the squad and how it can go. What about What about Harry Kane? He's going to come back in time. You've said you've calmed me down.
Yeah, he'll be back at some point in April. Get match fit in May, and he'll be back for the World Cup.
Is that enough time for him to be? Because this happens again and again and again.
He's only rolled his ankle.
Is that all it is?
Yeah, it's not even it isn't the same level of ligament damage that he done against Sunderland last year, where he was out for about 8-9 weeks. He's rolled his ankle. You know, it's more problem for Spurs than it is England. He'll be back.
Okay. How far do you think England will get?
Probably not out in the group stages.
Do you think that? You don't think that?
Who have we got in the group?
We've got Tunisia, we've got Panama, and we've got Belgium.
We should definitely get through that group.
We should definitely get through that group, but I don't think we'll finish above Belgium. So we'll finish second and get Brazil or something.
I think we've got
do you know what that said? Like I don't. There's no world this year whether England win the World Cup, unfortunately, but I do love it. I do absolutely love the World Cup, and when I'm watching it, when we're in the knockout stages, I just want one more night. I just want one more game. Because you get everyone's together, and it's a great feeling in the pub, and you all the positive energy or negative energy as it ends up being, is pointing in one direction. The whole nation's together, and there's something intoxicating about it all, and then it's so sad when it's over.
It is
so,
sad,
like when when we got knocked out to Italy 4 years ago. Balotelli scored, right? I went to the toilet when Balotelli scored the first goal. I think he scored the equaliser. We were 1-0 up, weren't we? And I came out of the toilet, hadn't realised that they'd scored, and they scored again in the 86th minute. I was like, oh, it goes to extra time because my glasses couldn't see the score. And it ended, and I was like, oh, fuck.
Hang on, sorry, I'm getting confused. Was this 2012 or 2014?
Whenever we got knocked out at Italy.
Wasn't it on pens?
Yeah, it was on pens.
Literally knocked us out on pens. Perlo, Panini, Joe Hart.
Who
Cut.
What am I thinking about? No, don't cut. I don't give a shit. What is it? Did we have Italy in the group?
Yeah, we did actually.
Oh, was it in a group game?
Yeah,
we went out. Alright, so I'm mixing up my set.
Leave it there. Alright, we can't have that.
Oh, I'll cut it then.
It's weird. I was thinking there was something double stuff in there. Where's he going?
We'll cut it out.
Yeah, we'll cut it out, okay. What were we talking about?
Do we have
That's the
Uruguay?
right story. That's just Flav getting a game like a bit wrong.
I
Just cut out the bit where I said, oh, fucking hell, it's going to be a nightmare in the edit. It really doesn't matter if I get something wrong.
I know, yeah, but it just looks like
We don't know.
we don't know anything. I know, but like
So you
I mixed up. I thought it was. I mixed up.
that's
the fact that it
fine.
was
Like, I'm not
knockout.
having go for that. I'm just saying that we can't have that in.
Just fight.
I'm just saying you can't have stuff where we look like utter idiots. Like, do you know what I mean?
Like, we don't. I
You were
do.
saying nice stuff about England. Everyone gets together.
Alright.
And then
It's intoxicating.
Wait.
Jake.
He was saying what?
he was doing a nice little piece about how.
Yeah. Shall I say it from there?
So that
Okay.
would start again.
It's intoxicating, and all I want is I just want it to continue, and it's always a bit sad.
And it's a different feeling
Yeah.
of fandom.
Yes.
With your team once you do get into it.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
it's like a holiday romance. It's not your your wife who's kind of I love my wife. This is not reflecting my life. Let's just be clear. But like it's not just like the slog, the daily slog of supporting your team at home. It's it's a holiday romance, and it will come to an end, and you just don't want it to end.
You don't want it to, but you know it will, and you're happy to go along with it. It's a lot of fun while it lasts. Have you ever had a holiday romance?
I have.
Have you?
And it was incredible.
Go on.
It was amazing.
Can you tell me? Ian?
Yeah, I can too. Yeah, where was I? I can't remember where it was.
Crete.
It was one of them, yeah. And it was fabulous.
What was her
I
name?
thought it was going to last forever.
What was her name?
I'm not telling you name. I'm not telling you name. But yeah,
How old was you?
I was 20, I think. But yeah, it was magical.
did you-
I thought it was going to last.
Did
I
you
thought it
make
was gonna carry on.
her the love?
That doesn't need to be answered.
All right, okay.
Does it? And then the Fan League sponsored podcast.
We all made
But
that.
by saying that, I think I've answered.
And did you write letters to each other afterwards?
No, she lived quite near and just sort of phased me out.
Oh, you got phased.
Yeah, I got phased out. Maybe we should talk about phasing out at some stage.
Maybe at the end if people
Maybe at the end,
want to
exactly.
stick around.
Goalkeeper situation. Joe Hart, right? Nick Pope. What?
Adam knows a lot about phasing.
Yeah, Adam is the phase out.
He's the
king.
ghost king.
Yeah. just to chat about football for a bit. Joe Hart, Pickford, Butland, Nick Pope, loads of goalies out there. Joe Hart is like everyone. He is like poison to football fans. Everyone utterly despises him. If he plays a game of football, it's not fair. It's not fair on everyone else because he's had a dip in form. Quite a long one.
More than it's weird though.
Does he go?
No.
Not even in the squad.
Why?
Well, he's got experience. He's been there a long time. I'm not saying he starts.
He's just not good enough. But
Not even to be one of because right. So
he's scarily error prone, and in a knockout competition, you don't need that.
okay, fair enough.
Butland is better. Heaton's better.
But when you get 3 goalies, I would take him as one of the 3.
What is a
For
favour-
experience.
do him a favour.
For experience.
I suppose. He might
Nick
be
Pope, like he's not been there and done it. And when you've got 2 guys who are still going to be in front of him anyway,
Yeah.
I'd rather because if he got to a point where Butland got injured, then Pickford got injured, I think I would want someone experienced like Joe Hart to deal with that
I'd
situation.
take Heaton, Pickford, and Butland. I wouldn't take Joe Hart.
Heaton's injured though. That's why Nick Pope's been playing.
Oh, is he now?
Yeah,
What? You won't be fit for the World Cup?
I don't think so. Well, we probably wouldn't get in the team because ex-Milkman Nick Pope is now playing. I love that as well. It's like the one bit of grace the media will give an England player
Yeah.
is when they have their first time in the squad. Antonio last year, everyone's like buzzing about him. Nick Pope's like, oh, he was a milkman for a week. I don't know the story. It was boring.
Yeah.
But like, oh great, there's a headline, and we can be nice to you for this period of time. But as soon as you play and make a mistake, you're just the poster boy for how shit England are.
Yeah.
It will turn like that.
Yeah, because it's easy. You know, journalists don't care about England; they care about selling their newspapers.
True. There are some odd names in this squad, I tell you.
It is a weird one.
Tarkowski, Mawson.
Mawson ain't weird.
I really like Tarkowski. Adam.
Yeah, very good player.
Yeah.
Another one.
Brentford.
Another one. Brentford let through.
Let
He
through, yeah, through
He
the
went
net.
on strike, so he could get away from us.
He went on strike.
Yeah.
Brentford
He
is.
did.
You don't have those banter eras. In terms of players leaving, Brentford it must be tough.
Constant.
It must be really tough.
Yeah.
He went on strike. I don't want to go back.
It's a weird squad as well because there's players there that are like,
Um,
why are they there? Like Jake Livermore, why is he there?
Yeah.
Ashley Young, is he the answer?
Well,
Danny Welbeck, does he really deserve to be in the squad yet?
It's just who else though? We're so thin on the ground. Who else? Just to go back to Mawson to give him some props. I've been watching him play a fair bit. Just out of curiosity, like his 5th choice Brentford to Premier League starlet. Strange, but he's very very good on the ball and his distribution is incredible. And I was looking at him and I was thinking, as a replacement to Alderweireld, I wouldn't mind. I think he's good enough. Yeah.
That's a jump for him though.
It's a jump for him, but he's under constant pressure. He's under constant pressure at Swansea, and he handles himself well. I think he's done fantastically well at Swansea. It cost a fair whack to get him, but young and decent.
Yeah,
so
might be an option for you. Yeah.
I don't think Alderweireld's going to be staying beyond this year, so we need someone.
Yeah. And in terms of journeys as well, Daniel Pereiro, right? Real Madrid he was at, and he went on loan to QPR when we were in the Championship.
Yeah.
And played 14 games, wasn't up to it in the Championship.
Yeah.
Like, you can see he had quality, but like.
I'd never even heard of him before you mentioned him.
Well, no, he's captain of Valencia now. He's like went to Getafe, then Valencia. Like struggled at Valencia to start with, and then has done brilliantly. And he's now in the Spain squad.
Keeping Fabregas out.
Keeping Fabregas out.
Incredible.
I love that, man. That shows that you can there is that journey that you can make.
So much of it's about attitude and aptitude in football. You know, if you work and you have the dedication, and belief in yourself, and the people around you, the right people around you. You know, Troy Deeney, who we've done an interview with on XO. You see coming out on the XO channel very soon.
Yeah.
His journey is incredible because it's about him suddenly switching on. He obviously had the natural talent, he had the strength at Walsall to do well at that level, the physical strength, but he adapted and worked at his game in order to get the opportunity to join the Championship side at the time at Watford. And, you know, and when you listen to him talk, it's about work ethic, it's about what's my vision, how do I get there, and what do I need to do to achieve my goals. Harry Kane's the same. Vardy. You know, there are ways to do it. It's the kids who have all of the talent, but not the correct attitude. You see it so many times. You could list a load. Leon Knight, Ravel Morrison, kid at Southend who's just been bumped again.
No Ranger.
Yeah.
I think what also is a great point is that's modern football actually as well now. Is that these there are so few players at the big clubs that will go straight into the first team and stay there. The bulk of them will have to go out and get experience. And like you said, Kane, Vardy, Lallana, players who've like gone through the league. Because that's part of it as well. It's games, playing games, and that's a problem that English players have, is that they don't get enough games.
Harry Kane said something interesting when we played Rochdale, or it might be Newport County. He said, how do you prepare? How do you get up for this game? And he said it's not difficult to get up for this game. These players could have been us. All of them could have been us. But football didn't work out for them in the way it did for me.
Yeah.
I had the right people around me. I was at the right club. I had the right managers, the right coaches that believed in me and kept pushing me on, and the right setup around me. Another path, Newport County players could have been developed. There are levels, there are elite players, but most players, anyone who can play professional football is so far beyond anyone that you've ever played football with. It's unreal. Like I played against some Spurs legends. And these are players I would readily slate when they played for Spurs. Stuart Nevercott, one of the worst defenders I've ever seen at Spurs. It was incredible. It was incredible.
It's like watching Beckham.
Couldn't get near him. He read the game in ways that I couldn't even believe. I'm not a good footballer, but it was like I had him and Danny Maddox. Like, these aren't players with huge reputations.
There's one. Who have you played football with who was a pro, who generally gets slated, but actually he was epic? He's an epic player. Let us know in the comments below.
Yeah.
Let's move on to Those Were the Days. Major tournament squad edition of Those Were the Days. This is coming from me this week. So if you've got any little memories from football, random tiny things that you would like us to expand on, let us know in the comments below. And they can be in Those Were the Days. This is when we look back and reminisce. So this is I noticed a couple of players that were in England squads on different tournaments, and I was like, wow, I can't remember you being in those squads. And then I added a couple as well. So 2006, do you remember when Theo Walcott made it into the England squad?
16 years old, wasn't he?
He's 16 going on 17, he might have just turned 17.
Yeah. Sven Eriksson took him.
That was, in hindsight, that was so odd, wasn't it?
Because he had it at the time, I think he'd only played a handful of games for Southampton. He wasn't even...
was he at Arsenal at that point?
Was he?
I'm not sure.
Wait, 2006?
I feel like he had gone.
Maybe.
But
it
he
certainly
really
wasn't.
played.
He certainly was. I mean, it was a shock to everybody.
Yeah.
When he went, and not in the same way that Owen was, because Owen, you could see that kid was special.
Well, he'd had a season for Liverpool. He scored 18 goals. In the Premier League.
Yeah. But it was kind of Walcott hadn't, apart from having a lot of pace and bags of potential, was so rough. It was weird that they took him.
Yeah, and I don't think that will be done again because of that example. I don't think a manager would ever dare do that again unless
it's very special.
They're incredibly
Rooney,
special.
Owen levels.
Yeah. But yeah, he was in that squad. And do you know who missed out? Jermaine Defoe missed out in that squad.
Incredible.
Well, he still has to be better about that, because then it got to a point in those games where Sven-Göran Eriksson looked across the bench and there was no options. I think we just had Crouch up front, didn't we? It was when Rooney got sent off. Rio Ferdinand made it into the 1998 World Cup squad, playing for West Ham, 17 or 18 maybe. He'd played his debut against Cameroon like a few weeks before before the squad was announced, and he was in there in the squad. There are a few actually occasions. I think Ronaldo, the Ronaldo we were talking about earlier, fat Ronaldo, he was in the 1994 World Cup squad and didn't play, and he was 17. So that's
I guess
a dangerous option to take.
I wonder how much of it is about these players are going to feature in the future, and it's about giving them that experience before they're actually ready to play.
Yeah.
So being around the setup, being away from home.
It does feel like I think now
it seems like a lot to. This is like a bit of a useless lesson when we should really be concentrating. on getting out of group stages.
I think now it's different as well, because I think there are so many. Your substitutions are so crucial now and always utilised. Whereas back then it kind of, if your starting 11 were doing alright, you just kept them all on. Didn't really make those changes. And last one. Speaking of exciting players who went on to do great things for England, Steve Howie, Steve Stone, and Phil Neville, a 19-year-old Phil Neville, were in the 1996 England squad for Euro 96.
I haven't thought about Steve Howie since then. Like, do you know, literally his name and face is... I can't not forget him now. He was at Newcastle, wasn't he?
He was at Newcastle. He played for Man City for a little bit. and then kind of fell off a cliff a little
He was
bit.
quite good.
I mean,
He had a couple of good seasons. I remember him
Yeah.
being quite.
well, I mean, look, he was in the England squad for the for Euro '96, which is obviously the last time we did anything in the tournament. It's amazing. You know, sometimes you don't, like you say, you don't really have a picture of someone. In my head, his face is just a potato, a baked potato. That's all I can see.
Like a man's thigh.
Yeah, like a man's fine migration.
Migration.
Because he just had a buzzed head, but yeah, he was in that squad. Steve Stone also looks like a baked potato. He was in that squad. Nottingham Forest finished third that season. Sorry, I'm showing my age here. But yeah, crazy.
Did Guppy ever play?
Steve Guppy played for England, didn't make it into. He might have been in
Down
2000 squad.
Steaming down the left wing.
Yeah, I know he played. He played, but that was when we It's like there were no left-footed England players briefly.
Ian Wone, did he ever make it?
I don't know, mate. He might have.
I can see him in an English shirt. Ian Wone.
Yeah.
I've got a question in the comments if you let us down. Who's the worst player to ever play for England? Any cat?
Worst.
The worst.
That's good. It's time.
Colin Palmer?
It's time, Flav.
Got a lot of
Carlton
stick.
Palmer, yeah,
Got a lot of stick.
I saw Carlton Palmer in a club once, on a uni night in Sheffield. He was in a tracksuit, and he was massive, like so normal height people, and then Carlton Palmer just in the middle of the dance floor. He must have been about 38 by this point, with a can of Red Stripe, just there, just like loving life.
Loving life.
Yeah, God.
In the pub, a story I heard on Magic Sponge, Cotton Palmer and the lads from Sheffield Wednesday, I think, were in the pub, and bloke was getting leery with him, going up to him, starting on him, and that, 'cause footballers, they probably get that a lot, players starting on him. And the bloke goes, I could do anything you could do. And he pulled out about 5 £50 notes and ripped it in half and went, can you do that?
Is that true? There's so many stories like that. But it's always about money, isn't it? It's always burning money. Like that's the worst thing that anyone could ever do. I would have picked that up later on. I would have gone back. No?
You wouldn't have done that.
Nah, I probably wouldn't.
I mean, you got to be some fucking idiot to do that.
It's time, Flav.
Soldiers lost in battle. I'm really thirsty. Can I go and get a drink while you read this out? Take that long.
Go on then.
Really?
It is that long. I could do with you kind of talking about it though.
Yeah, no, cool.
Well, stick around.
I'm not
It's alright,
actually
stick
going to
around.
leave the podcast.
Right, so you asked for it. We asked you if you wanted it. You seemed to want it. Didn't get the 1,000 likes I was after.
How many
But
did you
understood.
How many?
I'm not sure actually, but it wasn't that many. So this is it. It's a young man called Tom, and this is his Soldiers Lost in Battle story, and this is incredible. Right. Let's go. Right, I'm going to read it quickly because it is long, but it is excruciating. So I've been debating sending this in as it's firstly about the worst day of my life, and secondly about being lost in battle. And it's long, but you keep asking for stories, so maybe this is a good one. I'll try to be quick. In 2013, I was mooching about Thailand with time and money. Spent some time in a small tourist town in the north called Pai. After being there a while, I decided to move on. It was the last night there, and I planned to have drinks with friends and say goodbye. I was staying outside the town, a couple of kilometres walk away. I started walking to the town quite late at night. I had a bag of booze with me and a hip flask full of rum, but had only had a beer before leaving my bungalow, so was more than capable of walking without a drunken stumble. The roads were narrow, winding country roads, and there was no pavement, just road and bushes to the side. The next thing I know, I'm waking up in hospital with the police hovering over me. I only speak basic Thai and couldn't understand what they were saying, but they were looking at me smugly, saying something and waving my hip flask in my face. They left soon after, but I was so concussed I remember little. I was very lucky that there was an English guy next to my bed who I'd never met, but was there to explain what had happened. He'd found me lying on the side of the road with a broken leg and no one else around. Long story made slightly less long, I had a compound fracture of my left tibia.
If anyone doesn't know, that means the bone was poking out the skin.
It had completely collapsed in on itself, and a few cuts and bruises. I had concussion, but vaguely remember the last memory being a set of headlights heading towards me. I'll never know what happened, but I think I was a victim of a hit and run. I was left for I don't know how long. The man stayed with me a while until I was comfortable and had my senses back, and my mates had been called. The nurse told me the police wanted me to file a report once I was discharged. Knowing what I did about Thai police, I decided there was no way I'd be doing that. They're extremely corrupt and I remembered nothing. So there was nothing to gain. Then I remembered I'd been to an ATM that day and withdrawn 200 quid. I'd spent 20 quid and had left the rest in my back pocket by mistake. The pocket with the hip flask I'd been run over and pickpocketed probably by the police. Both had gone, basically. What followed was a night and morning of extreme pain as I was left to wait overnight in hospital before a transfer to another better hospital in the morning, 3 hours away through mountainous terrain. The journey was pure torture, not only because of the serious break, but because I got a sharp, full-on and constant cramp in the calf of that same leg. I couldn't relieve it, so he couldn't get rid of the cramp by stretching the muscle, as I had a collapsed tibia, so he can't stretch it out.
That's cramp in the muscle next to the broken bone. That's insane.
So grim.
I can't.
It was agony for 3 hours. I was in the ambulance with my friend and a nurse. The nurse didn't have the authorization to administer morphine. Only doctors can. I called her the worst names under the sun in English and Thai for 3 hours. I was crying until I lost the energy to cry. Then I'd cry anyway. Worse than any baby. I've broken my arm playing football and had my right hand fingers touched my right elbow before. That was the most painful experience until this one topped it, exponentially so. We arrived in hospital. I just repeatedly screamed morphine. It took a couple of minutes till I was fixed. Best drug ever, if you're looking for a drug. Don't look for drugs.
Like a paracetamol.
Yeah. I apologised profusely to the nurse, who clearly emphasised and accepted my apology. What a kind, genuine lady. Doesn't matter. I had surgery and a metal plate in the leg. This was October 2013. Remember that. I'd planned to be in Brazil for the World Cup. Not a massive England fan, but I do follow them in tournaments. After the break, my intention didn't change. I had friends living in Rio, and the other to meet were coming from nearby countries. I admit I didn't plan to pay the high cost for any ticket, but I just wanted to be there, to be part of it. I stayed in Thailand, recovered reasonably well, got off the crutches and started working. I still planned on flying to Brazil. Then Thai New Year came, mid-April. I went on a 4-day bender and didn't take care of myself. I was prone to leg ache and still am to this day. With the alcohol consumption, I never realised how real the pain may be. My first day off the drink, I got out of bed and couldn't walk properly. Something was wrong. My girlfriend took me to hospital and found out the screws in my leg had come loose. The plate had broken and I needed more surgery. I had a job in a private English language academy, but it was at the end of the academic year. They weren't going to pay for a teacher to come back to work who couldn't do the job. Fuck this, I said. Back to England to the NHS. God bless the NHS. Remember that. End of story now. I needed time in the UK to recover. I couldn't get travel insurance as I did if I did leave England, so I had to wait for the doctor to give me a clean bill of health. I watched the World Cup from my parents' home. A very boring summer, although I did win a few quid betting. My leg is lumpy, is 9 degrees off centre, and has never felt the same again. I missed a great footballing experience in a country I consider up there with England as the most football mad. I don't have the same desire to go to Russia, but I feel lucky to be alive. I returned to Thailand that December and got a job. I've been all over since. Currently I live in Spain and life is great. Apart from the football heartache I still feel on a regular basis. That's my story. My name is Tom. I'm a typical Newcastle fan, doomed to fail.
Well done, Tim. Well done, Jim. Can I just ask a question? What did he spend £20 on in Thailand?
I don't know, a bit of food.
Come on. Man, on his own, in Thailand.
20 quid. That's cheap.
Go a long way there.
Yeah, right. So there you go. You asked for it, you've got it. Soldiers Lost in Battle. If you've got a Soldiers Lost in Battle story that is as epic as that, maybe a lot briefer, then we would love to read them on the podcast as we do every single week. So get in the comments right now, Soldiers Lost in Battle, and then write your story. Let us know the heartbreaking stories you've been through.
And those that have written them in that we haven't featured yet, we will get to them if they're any good. It's just that if a better one comes up, that gets you served. So just
Very true.
either write better ones or wait until they come.
Okay, final part of the podcast. Questions for Flames. James, Flav, Flames. We've asked you to get your questions in, and you've done so. And there's some epic stuff here, which is going to kind of lead into a bit of birds in that as well, Adam. So listen up. First one, and this is from a lad. I won't say his name, but he put it in a podcast. He put it in last week's podcast, and he's tweeted me as well. So this guy needs some advice.
He needs some help, yeah.
So if you guys can help him as well,
I'm looking forward to this.
then let us know in the comments below, and you can give us some guidance. Question/guidance for Flames. A girl I work with split up with her boyfriend.
Good.
We got close and had a nearly moment.
Go on, my son.
And the following week, she got back with her fella and decided not to speak to me again. Not even a phase out. Pie.
Just
Ghosted. And I had to find out from other people in work. She's now had her contract finished, so she's in the last few weeks at work and has now started to get back in touch. How do I behave for the weeks she has left at work?
How do you behave?
So how does he deal with this situation?
Firstly, let's just deal with her, because if she's got back with her boyfriend and she has feelings for you, then she's probably done the right thing. Although it was probably quite painful, because obviously she doesn't want to cheat on her boyfriend, which she shouldn't do. And, the risk of that could happen because obviously you're the big swinging dick around here and she wants a bit. So, you can understand it, and you shouldn't be too angry with her. I can understand her reasoning. She probably should have talked to you, but it's not always an easy thing to do.
That's true.
Yeah.
Nearly moment as well. I think you've got to be careful with these kind of things. Was it a nearly moment for you? Was it a nearly moment for her?
Yeah, because sometimes a nearly moment isn't a moment at all, just in your head.
She's just daydreaming, and you're on your way.
I had a nearly moment with someone at work.
Did you really?
Neil. We'll leave it there.
Wow, incredible. So how does he behave for the next few weeks? How does he deal with this broad?
I think we can't say bird and broad.
Why not?
Because some people might find it offensive.
Misogynistic.
It's misogynistic.
Is it?
Yes.
No,
Is it misogynistic? Let me know.
It's not. It's not. I don't think it is, but some people might take exception. Anyway, look, the young lady. It's her prerogative to. The thing is she just talking to you again, or are you thinking that and you're reading too much into it?
And is this the kind of like it's the end of the holiday romance thing where you everything's rosy? She knows she's leaving work.
Yeah.
So she's going, right, I can enjoy the banter, I can enjoy the flirting, I can get in touch.
Yeah, or maybe she just thinks, well, look, I can get one in before the end.
That's not misogynistic.
Kiss.
But
what?
broad is.
No, that's not. Just
vulgar.
That's fine.
Vulgar. All right, David Brent. I can kiss him, for example, and then I can walk away, and there's no fear if he's
Imagine
there.
that kiss, Flav. It's gonna be electric.
You know what I mean?
Incredible, isn't it?
So,
Yeah, it's going to be lovely. Easy with the tongue, be careful.
What's the most electric kiss you've ever had, Jeff?
That's the story for another time. That's not for this podcast, mate.
Mine's with Ollie.
Mine's with Neil.
Neil? What a slag.
It was a different night. Right. So I would say, this is my advice for you, right? Play it cool. Don't act too bothered about the situation. Be gently flirty. If it gets to a point where she's sort of kind of coming on a little bit too strong, but she's still with the fella, tell her, right, 6 months. I'll give you 6 months. Get out of my sight. Deal with your boyfriend. If you want to be with me, then let's talk then. You're wasting my time now, and then you'll look really cool. Within a week, she'll be there. I'm
definitely of the persuasion, or I don't know what's the correct word. I'm the kind of bloke that if I know someone has a fella, I wouldn't go near him.
You wouldn't go near them?
No, I wouldn't, because if someone did that to me,
I agree.
Want to end him.
Yeah, that's it. If you know this other guy, then come on.
I don't even know. Like if I was in a disco. Yeah, and
you're at your local discotheque.
It's like that.
Yeah.
And I'm going, okay, right, Treacle. How you doing?
Chica tequila?
So he's here. Do you want to... Hang on a minute. Before we take this any further, have you got a boyfriend?
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, but he's not here.
Well, I'm not interested, love. I'm not that kind of bloke.
Okay.
Yeah? And you shouldn't be that way either. Respect and love him.
Get out of my sight.
Or leave him. Out of my sight, in room 69.
We hope that's helped. We hope that's helped. Yeah. Second one, I'm going to say his name, Ivan.
Oh, hello, Ivan.
I went out with this girl a couple of times and found out she's a Chelsea fan.
Whoa.
We get along really well, and she's a strong 9 in my opinion.
Shouldn't rate women out of 10.
Yeah. Adam learned that the hard way. Football is a big part of our lives, and maybe you have experienced how hard it's to date a girl who supports a rival club. She isn't just a fan, she's obsessed with Chelsea, which is weird to see with females, I guess. No,
Not all.
Whoa.
That's ridiculous.
Steady on there.
Yeah.
Went to her home, saw Chelsea stuff all over the house, and I'm thinking, how am I going to handle this?
That is tough. That is
is
tough. There is. I mean, I work with some Arsenal fans. I don't want to know them.
Yeah.
Not on any real personal level. So imagine, because you can't help who you fall in love with. I'm not saying he loves him, but if you do, you go down that path. If you're willing, then and you go home and it's like a framed picture of Martin Keown on the wall.
Yeah, no one needs that. No one wants that after a long hard day. Martin.
Martin.
It's like that.
Yeah.
I would say I generally go for women who don't like football because
That's yours.
then it's my thing, and it allows me to do white lies that allow me to get away with things. Like, for example, and this isn't mine, so I can't claim to this, but a mate of mine does this every week and gets away with it, right? He plays football, and he wants to have a pint afterwards, which means he's got to stay out later, right?
Yeah.
So he'll call after every game's finished, and he'll go, hello love, it's gone to extra time, so I'm going to be a bit late. So I'm sorry. So yeah,
Every game.
Most games.
She doesn't watch football.
She doesn't Twitch. She goes, it's gone extra again. And that allows
You
her to
lot are
be
rubbish.
fine. Yeah. So I would generally stay away from women who like football.
What? Why can't he just?
In a love sense.
Why can't he just go for a pint? Why does he have to?
I don't know. Well,
Get
no.
permission?
You've got to keep a fine. You've got to keep a fine balance.
Of
Not
what?
everyone's like an alpha male like you, Flav.
I'm not an alpha male. I just believe that as a free human being, I should be allowed to have a pint of beer after the football if I want.
Okay.
And I probably wouldn't be with a woman who stopped me.
Getting back to this question. She's a strong 9, he's saying, so he finds her very attractive. Again, you shouldn't rate women.
Yeah,
But
she's an attractive in his eyes.
She supports the enemy.
Yeah.
I think you've got to get. It's up to you, mate, isn't it? Really, it's like is she is the juice worth the squeeze? That's what I would say.
It's the juice worth the squeeze. Yeah, look, it would be really annoying. Imagine like you come home, Chelsea had pumped us 5-1 in the semi-finals they did a few years ago, and she's gloating.
Yeah, well, that's a good point. Is she a classy fan, or is she a bit muggy?
Yeah.
If she's a bit muggy, then do you need that? I'm not sure it's worth it. But if she can like deal with it, like I've got mates. One of my best mates is a Brentford fan, and we kind of have you'll hate this. We kind of have a pact that when it is that derby game, we won't dig each other out afterwards, because there'll be another derby and it'll go the other way, and it's just
No,
pointless.
I don't hate that at all. I don't actually get a great deal out of gloating. I get a great deal out of I never walk in and go, Arsenal lost, you're shit to anyone. I get my revenge when I've been recipient of it. I'll always give it to them people.
Right.
But I've never got to someone when they're feeling bad. And I didn't speak to one of my good mates at university for 7 years because he sent me a text after Arsenal beat us 4-1, gloating about it.
Really?
He didn't know that I had a problem with him. I just stopped texting him. And
So you're upset. Wow, you phased him out.
I phased him out. I spoke to him since then.
So yeah, Ivan, I would set some ground rules. Maybe that's a way of doing it. Maybe can you take all the Chelsea stuff down, and can we just have some rules that you're just not a muggy
Also,
Chelsea?
what kind of person is she as well? She's a Chelsea fan. They're dubious, aren't they? They're dubious.
Yeah, generally.
Proper Chelsea.
Cody247 is the last one. Got a problem for Flav and James. I've got a massive crush on my manager. Another work-related relationship thing here. Unbelievable. I've got a massive crush on my manager, who is an absolute MILF. And just incredible as a person.
Yes.
Saved it. Well done. Problem is, she's twice my age and recently married.
Good. Wow.
It's
yeah.
affecting my work. I'm bang average at my job anyway, but my targets have taken a big hit. It's just that it's very distracting, and clearly I cannot mention anything to her directly.
No, you
And
can't.
she is doing everything she can to help me improve at my job. Oh.
Oh,
How do I overcome this problem or get under my boss? This is a serious question.
Forget the second part of that. We're not going to give you any advice that leads to you getting what you want. But, you know, having crushes is normal. You know, it's hard. You know, it's a normal thing. Everyone had a teacher at school,
Miss Patterson.
Mrs. Sadler, and you know, it's just a part of being a grown up and getting past it. Really, it's a shame for you.
I mean, so
I don't have any advice for you.
logical options: get another job, or start looking for another
If you're
job.
no good at it, it doesn't sound you like it.
If it's
anyway,
unbearable.
get out of there.
I mean, have you had a Nearly moment? Is there a spark there?
I've had crushes at work.
Yeah, Neil. Of course, we all have. We all had a thing with Neil.
Oh no, I haven't had a thing with him. I had a nearly moment.
I only had a Nearly moment because Adam phased him out,
Yeah.
and he was feeling vulnerable.
Yeah,
So pounced on it, yeah. Mate, to be honest, you just got time's a great healer. You know, you've got to move forward. It's difficult when she's there all the time. I don't know what the advice is for that.
I mean, often fantasy is more better than reality.
Very true.
The grass isn't always green, all that stuff. Get another job.
Get another job. Yeah, there you go. That's the advice. So right, there you have it. Flames advice. You like that?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, it's all right. I'm not sure how much good advice we've given there, but if you do have a question for us, we can do it at the end of the podcast. Birds and that, yeah? Do you want to do a quick one on that? You said that. You said that earlier in the podcast.
We did. Adam, you got any news?
No.
You little liar!
No.
You're a little liar!
He's back on the market.
Back on the
Adam
market
is back on
again
the market.
and serving up wallops.
Yeah. Have you updated the apps?
No, so I'm getting away from the app.
Getting away from
Get
the
away,
apps.
get away from that. He doesn't want to use Tinder and Bumble, and that by the fact that he's allowed to use Bumble is because he's good looking, strapping young lad. But I'll tell it for him because he's a bit shy, a bit bashful. He doesn't want to say, "Look how good I am." He had, you know, a good time the other night.
Could he?
He had a good time with a young lady. Hasn't spoken to her since.
Oh.
Phased it.
It was one of them.
It was one of them.
She hasn't spoken to me.
She's been trying.
No.
As she texted you.
Mate, you didn't have to block her.
We didn't even have each other's numbers.
You didn't have to block her on Facebook. No, that's
Has he blocked her on Facebook? Oh wow. He's young. He's virile. He's
agreement. Yeah, what's wrong with that?
nothing wrong with that.
that's it. Look.
That's what.
Totally
that's
fine.
good.
You know, she probably wanted that as well. She went. Like, he's a total. He's a total stud muffin.
It's a stuff
But
nothing.
he's not got it up there. Or maybe.
He's a shell.
Yeah, he's a shell. It's
Yeah.
it's a
Very
really
pretty on the
attractive
outside,
shell of a man.
But vacuous darkness inside.
yeah. I'm not really getting anything apart from the bod. So she's done the same thing back to you, mate. But yeah.
But
Better
the thing is that he was really into her mind.
Really, yeah. That's
Less about her body,
what
but-
sealed the deal for him.
Yeah.
Incredible. So let us know your thoughts on the Flames advice. Get your Flames advice questions in as well. I quite enjoy it at the end of the podcast.
Yeah.
For those that stick around.
And when you're wording them, use language that's not that doesn't objectify women.
Yeah.
I'm big on that at the moment. I'm a feminist now.
I'm a feminist. I can't even say it, but I am one of those. If you enjoyed the One for the Weekend podcast, then download the app because that helps us.
Yeah.
Links in the description. Also, click the like button, subscribe because we always get more views than we get subscribers.
Yeah.
It's odd.
Because, I mean, literally, most people can't be bothered to click the subscribe button. That's what
Move
it
your
is.
mouse and click it. How tough is that? Do you know what I mean?
And also keep leaving comments and stuff because obviously you've seen that your comments and your
It's so
interaction
much
with the
fun,
show,
yeah.
it's loads of fun, but it also makes up a large part of the show. What's important about podcasts is that there's a big connection between the audience and us or whoever's doing the podcast, and that's really important to us. So keep leaving those comments, keep leaving Soldiers Lost in Battle, stat nuggets, questions of Flames if you want us to
much,
do
isn't
that.
it? It's good, isn't it? And yeah, just let us know your thoughts. And we'll see you next
And
week.
if you haven't had time to watch, it's the end. If you don't have time to watch the next episode, you can download it on all of your podcast apps. Thanks, James.
Thanks, mate.